Hey y'all, so I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it's going to be kind of like, let me just go into it because I don't feel like trying to intro it and everything. So here's what's on my mind. I've been looking at videos and they've been discussing about how YouTube influencers get paid for doing sponsored videos. And oh my God, it's so much and they don't need that much money and how, oh, that's terrible. So let me just say a few things about that in reference to business, because we're looking at it way too personal. Like, I don't make that much in a year. Oh my God. But let me just talk to you from a business standpoint and why we should leave this conversation alone. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with them getting paid that type of money for the content. So let me just say this from a business standpoint. First off, if the makeup companies are complaining about the ROI on their investment in influencer marketing, it's bullshit. Let me tell you why I'm saying it's bullshit. Because influencer marketing is probably the cheapest way they can market products. And so don't sit here and lie. So what they're doing is creating this conversation in order to rile us up as consumers, so therefore they can lowball them. See, that's the deal. They don't want to pay as much as they're paying, so they want to lowball these people. Now, let me just give you some facts, some ways that this works. Now, the reality is that marketing, advertising has always been around, right? But it's changed, and now we have this way. And this particular type of marketing is so good, especially for companies like makeup companies, because, and I'm going to talk about the beauty community, because it gives them trackable and they can see who they're working with and things like that. So what I'm going to say is, first off, we don't talk about celebrity endorsements when they do that. We have celebrities that endorse all kind of things, are doing video commercials and things, and we never question how much they make. Why? Because that's what we're used to. But now we're talking about influencers and beauty people on YouTube, and because we look at them as everyday people, they started out with nothing and we've seen them grow. How dare they make this type of money? So I'm going to tell you why. Stop all this conversation, because guess what? And saying, oh, and here's the other thing, well, stop paying them all this money and put it back in it and make the products cheaper. Guess what? The brands are never going to do that. They're always going to charge what they charge, because they charge what the basic economics says, charge what the market will bear. And we will pay those prices, so they're going to charge them. Just like, if you notice, NYX is creeping up their prices and they're trying to see if the market will bear it. If we charge this, will they buy it from us? If they do, okay, cool, we can start charging this much for our stuff. Not that the quality is not necessarily any better. It's just that we are willing to pay that price. So they're going to charge us that. So we are willing to pay $129 for Natasha Denona palettes. They're going to keep charging us that. Now, if nobody was buying the palettes, if the palettes just sat there in the warehouse, then they wouldn't charge that. So that's number one. So stop saying, oh, stop paying all these influencers and give the money back to us, because they're never going to do that. Now, let me tell you why the brands are getting over, and we need to stop acting like they're not. Okay, so let's talk about advertisement. So traditional advertisement is print and, radio and TV ads, right? Those cost a lot of money to do. A lot of money. Now let's just talk about how this works. When they're doing those type of things, they have ad agencies involved. They have to do, commercials. They're doing shoots. They're doing either photo shoots or video shoots or whatever they're doing in order to get to the point where it's put out. So for instance, if they're putting something on a commercial, not only are they paying for the time, the commercial space on that channel, they are paying for an ad agency, an ad agency to come up with the ad that they're going to do. They're paying producers and directors. They're paying, people to produce this video, including the actors and everything. And then it gets done. So those cost thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to create some of these commercials out there. When you're doing photo shoots and you look into Vogue and to Glamour, those are extremely costly, because especially when you see those one-page ads, those ads, and they're doing multiple pages, those ads cost extreme amount of money, because not only do you do that, you got to pay photographers, you got to pay models, you have to pay, you have to work with the creative director who's going to put it together. Those cost a lot of money. And not only that, but the ad space in those magazines. Now, why does it cost? And let's be real, the ad space, the price they pay to place a commercial is extremely expensive. Why? Because these companies can say, magazines like Vogue, TV channels like Channel 2, and it's like if something is a popular show like How to Get Away with Murder, they're going to tell you, okay, for this is what we have. This is who buys from us. This is who watches us. The analytics of it, right? The analytics of it. So then they're doing these analytics and saying, okay, so because you have this type of viewership, because you have this is why we can charge you this much for you to get into our service. Now let's look at it from the influencer marketing standpoint. They're doing the exact same thing. However, it's much cheaper for them to do it. So let's talk about how this works. And I'm going to talk about Miss Marlena and Makeup Geek. And don't get me wrong, whatever. Here's what I'm going to tell you about this. So when they send out that PR and people do PR hauls and show it and talk about it, that's free advertisement. All they had to do was create this PR box, send it out. And if those people and enough people talk about it, they don't even need everybody to talk about it. They need a certain percentage to talk about it. They're going to get sales from it, right? Because what we do is we wait for our influencers, me, whoever, to talk about them and convince them that, oh yeah, this is a good product. I can even say that I do that on the small scale that I do, which is you all listen to me. We talk about makeup. I give you my opinions on them. And a lot of times you all purchase based on what I say. Now, the good thing for the brands with me is I'm so small, I'm paying for the products too, and then you're paying for them. So they're getting free revenue off of me. So now let's talk about the larger people. So now these people are larger. They've been working their ass off. They've been getting people. They've got hundreds of thousands. They have millions of subscribers. They can pull from every video that they do based on analytics and say, every time I do this on average, this is how many people watch my videos. Okay. Now, so as a brand, I'm going, oh shit. That's why they send the PR out, which is free pretty much, which is such a low budget for them. So I'm about to say this and put this in here someplace. Y'all let me do a whole video, and it's such good content that I'm not going to redo it. And then I noticed I didn't have my lashes on. So I'm just putting this in that, I know y'all wasn't even going to tell me I didn't have my lashes on, but I caught it. So now you see lashes. And that's all there is to this. I'm talking to you. So now you're talking about getting some sponsored videos. So now they look at you and say, well, damn, this person gets, so consistently, they can watch our things and see how people react and how they talk. They can look in the comments. There's so much data that they can get off of YouTube about people before they even approach them for sponsorships, for sponsored videos. And yes, they should pay. And yes, some of these people should get paid $60,000, because guess what? They're usually giving these people a minute or two of conversation at the beginning of a video, which they're going to say, on average, hey, people going to watch and they're going to, I'm going to get like 40, 50, 100, 200,000 views on this video on average. So how much you going to pay me? And so for for that captured audience that and you can go and we can pull up the analytics and tell you, are they in your demographics? How many are women? How many are men? What's the age breakdown on average? So you're getting all, we can pull all that demographic information for you, and they can pull it too, honestly. So now here comes this. Hey, I want you to do this video for me. Okay, it's a minute or two. We're going to talk about it. And they pay $60,000. If they paid a minute with all production and everything on a very popular show, like say for instance, you know, How to Get Away with Murder or something, they're going to spend hundreds of thousands, close to $1 million. I don't even know what the pricing is for a minute on How to Get Away with Murder, but just alone paying for the time on that show is ridiculous. You know, maybe I'll go check it and put the pricing up here. And that doesn't count for actually producing the content to go in there. So now you talk influencer marketing. All they got to do is write a check and approve what you say. They don't have to do any production. They don't have to think of what they're going to, you know, they don't have to come, you know, hire people. They don't have to have an ad agency. They don't have to do any of that. All they got to do is write that check. So it is one of the most inexpensive forms of marketing and advertising that these companies have. So I'm sorry. I need you all to back up and get off of this. Oh my God, they're paying these people so much. You watch them all the time. You listen to them. So therefore, there is a value there. And for these companies to claim that, oh, we're not getting our ROI on influencer marketing is bullshit. Because they're spending, the budget is so much different, and so it's so much lower for them from production and things. See, well, listen, when they're doing those things, it takes, you know, they might have to go on location. They got to get this space. They can send this out and say, hey, in 30 days, I want you to do this. And you're going to get paid this. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is send you the product. It's great, 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 great marketing. And it's very inexpensive. So when companies like, for instance, Makeup Geek, let's just talk about Makeup Geek. Now, in the beginning, everybody was like, hey, Makeup Geek, Makeup Geek, Makeup Geek. And they were supporting her as a brand. Why? Because she was one of the crew. She was one of the influencers. She was Marlena. She was doing her thing. Yes, we're going to support her. But eventually she became another company. Let's just be real. She became she was another company. She's ABA. She's like that. Not on that level, but she is another company. And what she expected was her free ride of free advertisement to continue. And that was unrealistic on her part. Because let's be honest, at some point, Makeup Geek, if Marlena had never done Makeup Geek and she kept growing and she had a larger channel, she would have been asking and commanding those type of prices. But when you have a company now, they're only going to do this free stuff for you for so long. Now they're going to look at you like another company and say, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. At some point, you got to pay for all this advertisement you asking for. Because it is advertisement. Because let's be honest, when everybody was talking about Makeup Geek, that's when she was making that. That's when she was super popular. Now, are her products even that great? Or like, you know, not saying that the quality isn't, but her launches haven't been, they've been so-so. So, but she still wants that type of hype. Well, if you're going to get that hype from the people who are like 3 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, you're going to have to pay just like any other company. And that's ridiculous to say that you shouldn't. And like now she says, oh, I'm going to start working with smaller YouTubers and micro YouTubers. You know why? Because all she has to do is set up a PR package and send it to us. So yeah, I'll take her PR and I'll talk about it. And if I like it, I'll tell the truth and say I like it. But that is her reasoning, because instead of paying for one person $60,000, now she can take out a few thousand, much less. All it's talking about is getting some products, and she's, you know, on wholesale, you know, at cost, her cost for it, put it in a pretty box and send it out. Trust me. She does enough of that, she'll still make up, and that's her plan, is to make up that difference with smaller YouTubers. Watch her. Because think about it. If I get it and I talk about it and 20 of you all buy that because of what I said, and this person, 20 of their people, and you multiply it, if she gets into the few thousand people with thousands of subscribers, and send out the PR, and we're talking about her again, we are now her marketing and advertising. And that budget doesn't have to be that much if all you gotta do is send out some PR. So I'm saying all this to say is, I hope that this breakdown helps you all see, don't buy into this bullshit from these makeup companies, and stop acting like people who work hard, really have put in years of work to get to the place they are on their job, because this is their job, don't deserve to be paid for their services. Yes, it seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of what they're doing for these companies, it really isn't that much. So I need us all to get out of our feelings and stop going, oh my God, they're making so much money. And be honest. If you were in that position, would you keep doing this stuff for free? If companies were coming to you, would you just say, okay, yeah, I'm going to take your product and I'm going to do it for free, when they're making so much money off of your word? Now, are they being honest all the time? I'm not here to debate that. I'm not here to talk about the honesty of it. I'm not here to talk about, but I'm just talking about the costing of it and why the pricing is not bad. It really isn't. So let's get out of our feelings and stop being jealous because they're making more money, and just say, you know what, these companies need to slow down. How about this? These companies need to slow down their launches so that they can get the ROI on things. Because we talk about it all the time. We can talk about new releases every week because these companies are coming out with so much. There's only so much makeup we can buy. We can't use it all. Yes, some of us, like me, will buy a lot. But at the end of the day, I can't buy everything. So how about slowing down, slowing these launches down to maybe, instead of doing 17 in a year, how about doing like 5 or 6? A few every couple of months, come out with something new. Instead of this constant, you know, new releases. So that's it. That's all I got on this. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you know, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Engagement is engagement. And please leave a comment or two. What are your thoughts on this subject? And if you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on your way out. It's just a polite thing to do. All right, it's Lulu. Talk to you later.